Hello everyone, welcome to Chess 5. Today's game is between Mikhail Tal versus Theodor. Mikhail Tal is white and Theodor is black. So game started with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop to b5. Roll your piece. So black played a6, bishop to a4, knight to f6, castle, bishop to e7, rook to e1, b5, bishop to b3, d6, c3, castle, h3. And here till all the moves are theory. So h6, d4, rook to e8, knight to d2, bishop to f8, knight to f1, bishop to d7, knight to g3, knight to a5, bishop to c2, c5, b3, g6, preparing to put his bishop on g7, and white is preparing to put his bishop on b2. So bishop to e3, knight to c6, d5, and okay, uh, both the players have equal space in the center. White has a little bit more because his d pawn is on d5. So knight to e7, queen to d2, pressuring the h6 pawn. So king to h7, protecting the h6 pawn, and bishop into c5. Mikhail Tal sacrificed bishop. Obviously, he doesn't like a block position. He likes to play an open position. So he sacrificed the bishop on c5, d into c5, knight into e5, opening up the position, knight to c8, attacking the knight on e5, f4, queen to e7, c4, bishop to g7, knight to f3, preparing for playing to e5, b into c4, and b into c4. Here there was a much better move to play directly e5, and here black plays c3, and here queen d3. Obviously white cannot take this pawn because the d5 pawn is hanging, so it could be have a good continuation with after queen to d3, but okay. B into c4, b into c4, knight to d6, e5, knight into c4, queen to c3, bishop to b5, rook a to d1, rook a to d8, d6. So you can see these two pawns are just tremendously placed on d6 and e5. So something is going to sack. Knight into d6, e into d6, queen to b7, knight to e5, knight to d7. That was much better move. Black could have played knight to d5, threatening the queen, pinning the knight, as well as threatening this pawn to take on g6. But black played knight to d7, just pinning the knight. But here comes Mikhail Tal move, knight to h5, threatening the bishop. Knight cannot be taken because pawn is pinned. So bishop to h8, queen to g3, knight into e5, f into e5, queen to d7, knight to f4. Now Mikhail Tal is planning to sacrifice a bishop on g6 and making the black king weak. So black played bishop into e5, bishop into g6 check, king to h8. Okay, if black plays f into g6, then queen into g6 check, king to h8, rook into e5, rook into e5, and now queen to f6 check. Now the rook is hanging and that is the check. So if queen comes in between by playing queen to g7, then queen across d8 check. Now if we assess this position, then white has one knight, one rook, one queen, and black has one bishop, one rook, and one queen. But you can see black king is much weak. White pawn is on 6th rank. It's just two more moves to get queen. So white is completely winning in this position. So after bishop into g6, black played king h8, bishop into f7, bishop to d4 check, rook into d4, rook into e1 check, queen into e1, queen into f7, queen to e5 check, queen to g7, queen into c5, bishop to c6, and rook to d2. And Friends, in this position, Theodor resigned the game and White won the Mikhail Tal won the game. So why do Theodor resign in this position? Because Black has no counterplay in this position. Black all play is over. White pawn is very superior. White pieces are just well coordinated and black pieces are just not well coordinated, and you can see black king is much weak than white. Once the white king come on h2, white is completely better in this position, and hence white won the game, black resigned the game. So friends, if you liked my game, like my video, subscribe, share, and thank you guys, and please comment on the comment box, and thank you.